This question says, suppose a revenue function is given by that equation where R of Q is dollars and Q is units sold. I'll find a numeric value for the marginal revenue at 81 units and record your results in the box below. Okay, so let me bring it down. So we have R of Q right there, which is minus 6Q squared plus 1,000Q. Okay. So now, what do they mean by marginal revenue? Marginal always means derivative. Oops, derivative. There we go. Why? Let me make sense of that. What's the margin? The margin, like back in the olden days, we'd have a lined paper that had like a margin over in the side. It'd be that just the little area on the right. That's the margin, like the margin of a paper that have like a little margin on each side. It's just a tiny little area on each side. We don't really do that anymore. But anyway, a margin means a small amount, a tiny. They say, that's marginal. The word marginal. That means it's tiny. It's just a little bit. So when we talk about the marginal revenue, we mean how does at 81 units, we mean how is the revenue going up if you only do one more unit? Not in other words, let me say it this way. So this is an equation which tells you the revenue, how much money the company's going to take in when they sell Q items. So for example, I could plug in 10 and I had worked this out, you know, I just put in a 10 for Q and you hit whatever, I don't know what that is, minus 600 plus, this would be 10,000. So 10,000 would be 9,000. What is that? 400. Anyway, so the point is, if you sell 10 items, you're going to make $9,400. They must be big items, whatever they are. Oh, and you can say, okay, well, how about if you sell 20 items? Well, now put in a 20 for Q, and you can calculate how much revenue you're going to get if you sell 20 items or 30 items or 40 items or whatever. That's the revenue depending on how many Q items are sold, the quantity, essentially the quantity of items sold. Okay, so that's what R means for stuff. So that's the revenue function. So then what's the marginal revenue function? Well, that means just a little bit more. So the marginal revenue means if you sell one more unit. So right when you're at 81 units, you say our company has sold 81 units. How much more are we going to make if we sell one more? It means one more unit. In other words, dollars per unit. To just sell one more will give us how much more revenue. So it's the derivative. So at the very least, just know marginal always means derivative because it's small, it's per unit. So let's take the derivative. Multiply that down there, minus 12, q subtract 1 from the power to the first. Plus, this is a one invisible 1 power, multiplies down there, 1,000. Subtract 1, it's 0, it's gone. So there's the derivative. Now we're going to take that derivative and we're going to plug in what they said, 81 units. Put in 81. Let's see what we get. All right. Hit the buttons on your calculator. Was it minus 810? And can't do 810. 2 times 81 would be 162. So 972. So it'd be minus 972 plus 1,000. You just hit the buttons on your calculator. Be 28. Yeah, that's what they said. And that's dollars per unit. Meaning, what that means is when they've sold 81 units, if they were to sell one more unit up to 82 now, they'd get 28 more dollars. That's the rate of change. That's how their revenue is changing. It's a derivative, a rate of change, a slope. Those are all the same thing. That's how it's called marginal revenue. That's how their revenue is changing per one unit. If they were just to sell one more, go up to 82, they'd make 28 more dollars. So that tells them how fast their revenue is changing. It's a rate of change, a derivative, marginal for a marginal amount. For just one more unit, they'll make 28 more dollars. That's the marginal revenue when they're at having already sold 81 units. So marginal always means derivative. And there we go.